As the president is taking a victory lap today over the confirmation of now Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh, Republicans might be celebrating, but they're also recognizing what a mess the road to confirmation really was. Listen to the words that kept coming up when Republicans started describing the nomination process.
One can only hope that the Kavanaugh nomination is where the process has finally hit rock bottom.
What I'd like to do when we get all done, because this is almost rock bottom, I would like to have the future mending things.
We have hit rock bottom when it comes to the judicial confirmation process, and sadly, I agree.
Have we? Joining me right now, former Republican Congressman David Jolly. Thanks for coming in, Congressman.
You got it. Good to be with you, Kate.
Of course. When it comes to what you've watched play out over the last, let's just say the last 2 weeks, do you think Congress has hit rock bottom?
No, because understand what the leader of the Republican Party did just in the last hour. He called the charges against Kavanaugh a hoax. And those are unnerving words. My concern is because Republicans have seen some sort of spike in intensity that we've been talking about now for a week, that the president and his pollsters and, frankly, his followers Capitol Hill want to keep this very divisive story of Judge Kavanaugh out there. I think that's why we're going to see a made-for-TV swearing-in ceremony this evening, and you're going to continue to hear the president speak to the darker, more divisive angels among us and not the better angels going into November 6th.
And Congressman, you've been a critic of Donald Trump's all along the way, but I keep thinking, you know you've hit rock bottom when things start going in the other direction. And when it comes to the state of affairs, what is going to bring that about? Is it the voters? Is it public outcry? Is it someone standing up and being a leader?
You know, when Bill Clinton suffered defeat of a congressional majority in 1994, he did something interesting in his first State of the Union after that election. He said voters in 92, when they elected Clinton, voted for change, and voters in 94, when they put in a Republican majority, they went to the ballot box shouting. I think on November 6th, we're going to see a lot of voters shouting very loudly. We don't know which direction this is going to go. I think if you're a Democrat, you like where the numbers are in the House right now. If you're a Republican now, at the same time, Kate, we do get to judge the integrity of our elected officials. Some of these issues are structural, but some of them come down to the integrity of our political leaders. We get to judge that on November 6th.
You had a pretty stark assessment of the Republican Party over the weekend, saying there's no...
There's not, and I hate to single out Susan Collins and Jeff Flake and some of those members, but listen, they are moderate in word, but not in deed. This should have been... There were Republican Party that, in the words of Lisa Murkowski, even if you suggest that Kavanaugh is a good man, he was not the right man for this moment in history to ascend to court. But instead, the entire Republican Party fell in line. We know that there are only anecdotal examples of moderate Republicans within the party. I happen to be one of them. There are a few remaining, but there is no bloc, there is no wing that can influence and control the party. Just as you can make the argument on the Democratic side that that moderate wing has also become a disappearing element.
So do you think I've kind of been wondering this since last week, were the key senators, you're listing out some of them, were they undecideds or were they just undeclareds?
You know what? I think they were undeclared, and they were realizing the overwhelming political pressure that they were falling under. And instead of listening to that political pressure, they simply placated it, but still voted along with party lines. This was a moment. This was a moment to lead. And we didn't see leadership emerge from the Republican Party. Murkowski deserves the recognition she did, or for her vote. But we really didn't see that in the Republican Party. You know, Barack Obama talked about a post-partisan Washington, a post-partisan country. We have not achieved that. And I think going into 2020, we're going to start asking questions. Can a two-party system really achieve a post-partisan America? Or do we see the emergence, as we did in '92, of a Ross Perot-type figure that is actually competitive and offers a third way?
Yeah. First things first, let's see what happens going through this brutal midterm. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kate.